As an architecture student, like I had a professor that said I didn't have the pedigree or ideas or skill set to sort of work in any sort of important context. So every no is perfect for me. I thrive off a no.
Art support.
Young people, I know it's hard. It's lofty goals to be like, don't believe in, abolish the stereotype and don't believe the box that they put you in. But life is so short that you can't waste even a day subscribing to what someone thinks you can do versus knowing what you can do. And that's like the switch. It's like the switch in your head is if you can get to a place where you can act on that in the next hour after we're done speaking, I guarantee you it's a domino effect.
I Muse Reality. That's the one part of streetwear that I embrace, is that my ideas come from real people. They come from, like me, and like I was shopping at a mall to learn fashion. Like my fashion school was literally going into Marc Jacobs. Like I learned so much by seeing those fabrics and seeing those designs in real, and that gave me the perspective of what I use every day in my studio to create. So I love local stories. I love meeting real people. I get inspired by the most sort of mundane things. So, I probably have too many muses.
Then I have my sort of like 3% approach. Right now, I'm only interested in editing something 3% from its original form. I'm basically tired. It might be too old, but I found that things are intriguing to me when they're like slightly edited, like these shoes. Essentially, I got asked to do another Air Force One. This is like a new one. But I was only interested in restraining myself and only editing it 3%, because I don't want another shoe. I want to see something that makes me recognize the shoe that I already have, but it's a personal thing.
The process and the end product are equally as valuable. I embrace imperfection as much as I embrace the pursuit of perfection. I decided my fingerprint was how the work is positioned, and I use this overriding sort of construct between tourist and purist to sort of categorize the type of work that I'm trying to do. A purist can find value in meaning based on an underlying premise, whereas like a tourist has curiosity, ambition, and is willing to sort of seek out to sort of, pacify that need to see something or to know about it.
Something that I would like preach and take as a takeaway for all you guys in this point in your career is that perfectionism doesn't advance anything, ironically. As a creative and as a designer, there's no wrong way to go about the future of your career. The only failure is not to try, and I think that designers, we all have like or creators or artists, we have a natural convention to sort of be maybe tormented, or a little bit of like an inner struggle. Is the work living up to its fullest potential, or is it as great as the work that you idolize from your design idols? But at the end of the day, it's your body of work, and it's the amount of work and the refinement of that work that'll define who you are as a creative. So
I want to be the intern that sits in the room while they're coming up with that. I didn't want to be a designer. I just wanted to be in the same room. Getting a project with Nike is like almost impossible. But I did it in my own way. I did another it's the same way I advocate other people do it too. Don't just go to where you think you want to work and just say, hey, I want to work there. You have to do something that they see value in so that the conversation is shorter.
My sort of message of advice to a young generation or anyone who's sort of asking me is like, how can I sort of further my practice? First and foremost, it's just doing it instead of talking about it. I find 9 times out of 10 that there's this hesitancy to sort of make the ideas 3D and real. And it seems like an oversight, but that is extremely important. And then making sure that it has a reason for existing is the sort of more important aspect. Like if someone comes to me and is like, hey, I want to do design, I want to do what you do, my question in response is always why.
Like if you just force yourself to do the one project that you believe in and then it exists, that's going to be the one that's going to like lead you on your career, not necessarily the practical ones. You also have to have mentors, like dead or alive. You have to sort of connect with some body of work or someone who formulated a thought and an aesthetic and then build yours upon that. What most people won't tell you is that the people that you look up to didn't invent it themselves. You know, everyone has this sort of like, I call it like getting your brain reprogrammed. Like once you sort of learn a thought process, you can actually see yourself in that and add to it.
I just want to make sure that the door is open for a room of these kids to feel like they can design fashion and be on a runway.